What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel, Panthers Advice. Today, man, look at the score, 30-0. All right, 30-0. Let's talk about it real quick before we go over the stats, man. I got to say, the team shocked me in a way where I didn't expect it. Now, Penix, obviously, and his receivers made a lot of mistakes, right? Bryce Young, no touchdowns, but also no interceptions. You go to fumbles. Trevor Etienne, he lost that one, right, with the punt. But after that, there was no more. Atlanta, they had a fumble, and then Michael Penix obviously threw 2 picks. The Panthers capitalized on the Falcons' mistakes, along with their missed field goals too, right? I think he missed 2 kicks, if I'm not mistaken, and they're like, yeah, no more. You're not kicking anymore, right? So that was a big thing with the Panthers. Now, even with those 2 missed kicks, 30-0, man. 30-0 says a lot, right? And as I go back here and look, Chuba Hubbard, 17 carries, 73 yards. It looked like he started to get going, but again, I go back to the defense. And the reason I go back to the defense is this right here. I came out with a video last week around Tuesday or Wednesday basically saying, the Panthers rush D is legit. It's going to be tough for opposing teams around the Panthers. Now, people came back and said, okay, they did pretty good against James Conner, but what about Bijan Robinson? Bijan Robinson is different. I'm like, okay, no pushback from me, but from what it looked like, okay, if person A doesn't do it, person B will get him. If person B doesn't get him, person C will get him. So it really felt like no matter who we win against, the Panthers were going to do their job against the run. And that's what you saw them do against the Falcons, right? Look at Bijan Robinson right here. 13 carries, 72 yards, 17 was his long. For the most part, they did their job. There was a few times, right, where Bijan almost broke one out. But what happened? Mike J made a tackle. Trayvon made a tackle. Christian recovered late. He made a tackle. Because something I want to look at actually right here is who led the team in tackles today. Christian Rozeboom with 9 tackles. Now, am I shocked? Yes and no. And the reason I say yes and no is this right here, right? Rozeboom the first 2 weeks hasn't been in the best position against the run, or he's getting picked up second level every time by the guard, tackle, or center. Today, he improved. I still think there's a lot of improvement to be made, but he definitely improved from week 1 to week 3, which I say that like it's like almost a rhetoric thing, but he is new to the team. Trevor Wallace is still getting used to the position too. Once those two get on the same page against the run, right, and figure out, okay, if it's going left and going right, this is what Bobby Brown's going to do. This is what Derrick Brown's going to do. When Turk comes back, this is what he's going to do. Once they all start to understand how everyone's going to react against an outside zone, inside zone to the left, a dive, a trap, a toss. A toss was a big one, and I'm shocked the Falcons didn't go back to that. If I'm not mistaken, Bijan got quite a few yards on the toss. But other than that, I thought the Panthers did their job, right? It's a spill and kill, force to the outside, right? Force the next guy to clean it up, right? If he wants to keep bouncing it outside, bang, we got somebody out there for you too. And as I look at the rest of the tackles, you got Mike J with 6. That tells you, man, this defense against the run was clicking. You got Trayvon Merrick with 6 as well, 4 solo tackles, 1 tackle for loss. The reason this one's big is because they try to use Trayvon Merrick all the time to play man, to play zone, in the box, out of the box. They use him for everything. So the fact that Christian Rozeboom is the one with 9 tackles, not Trayvon Merrick, it's huge because it shows that, okay, Christian, he's getting in position quicker, right? He's noticing against the run. He's not getting picked up second level as much. Or if he is, he's recovering and still making the tackle. Big step up for the defense as a whole. Then you got Shaw Smith-Wade under him, 5 tackles. Lathan, 5 tackles. Trevin Wallace, 4 tackles and a tackle for a loss, along with Trayvon Merrick right there. This defense as a whole, man, they look 10 times better than they have probably, the last couple years, give or take, to be honest with you, as a whole. Now, the pass D still scares me, but let me make this clear. It's not the players, it's a Bureau scheme, because there were 1 or 2 plays where Penix missed his guy on 3rd and 10, and we were still playing 10 yards off. As a whole, I like this defense, but the 2 things that still scare me a little bit, if I'm being honest with you, right? I'm happy the Panthers won 30-0. Definitely a big win. But playing 10 yards off on 3rd and 10, it scares me a little bit. And then the pass rush, when we stopped blitzing, we didn't get a lot of pressure on Penix, if I'm being honest. I thought the first half of Bureau, he started to send some pressure. In the second half, he kind of eased up, played more of that prevent defense. And I guess it works, and it makes sense because if Penix is already struggling with chemistry with his receivers, Why take the risk and give him an open look? Make it look like everything's covered and make him have to throw, hit something on the sideline, hit something on the seam. Force him to hit something that's not going to be wide open. So, while I didn't love the second half, not really blitzing, it felt like, I understood where Vera was coming from. But I thought the first half, man, he was sending pressure left and right at the Falcons. Now, the first drive, the Falcons, they started to drive a little bit. Let's take a look real quick. So as we take a look right here, first drive, 42 yards. This might have been their longest drive, I think, in the first half. But they go 10 plays, 42 yards. They missed a field goal. Panthers, 9 plays, 61 yards, touchdown. All right, Falcons punt, 4 yards. Next drive, -3. Let me zoom in real quick, just in case you can't see real quick. All right, let's see. Can we zoom in? Let's take a look. So we got 4 yards one drive, -3 yards the next drive. So on 2 drives, they got 1 yard. All right, Panthers, they get 8 yards. They punt. Falcons, they go 8 plays, 47 yards, and they have to punt. All right, Panthers, they get a field goal. Falcons, once again, it goes to a punt. Panthers, -6 yards. And -6. All right, they punt, and it goes end of half. Falcons try to drive late. All right, time runs out. Good job by everybody basically playing prevent defense. So at half, it was only 10-0. And if you look right here with the Panthers, you're going to see, all right, so we got 42 yards right there. Goes back up to 50, 54. You got what? 105, give or take? So they had 100 yards at half. Not a lot, but a decent amount, I guess. Come out after half, 13 yards. Okay, not a lot. So they got a punt again. Still only up by 10-0. So they kept giving the Falcons the ball. Bang, bang, not really moving it. And then what happens later? Was this the one to Shaw Smith or into Mike J? Let's take a look. Shaw Smith-Wade picks it off 4-6. Shaw Smith-Wade, man. Shaw Smith-Wade. Woo, he's looking good. All right, last year, we were like, okay, he played outside corner in college. He's learning to play the slot. And you saw him read that. Penix goes to the flat, and then Shaw Smith-Wade takes that thing for 6. And to capitalize on that even more, I thought Penix and his receivers weren't on the same page at all. But the pick that Shaw Smith-Wade had, they were on the same page, right? Dumped off to the running back, and Shaw Smith-Wade took that thing for 6. That one got me hyped. So Panthers go up 17-0. Falcons, next drive, turn it over on downs. Panthers, once again, another field goal. And this one was to Mike J, right? So Falcons drive 50 yards. And then what happened? I believe this one was to Mike J. Let's take a look. Yes. Mike Jackson picks it off at the Carolina 16, man. Big pick right there. And then the Panthers go and get a touchdown. 27-0, and then 30-0. Look at the final stats real quick. I mean, this game, it showed me that the defense has potential. And Iviro, I didn't like that he eased up, but he's like, okay, Penix is struggling anyway. No reason to give him a free throw. Michael Penix, 18 for 36, 172, 2 interceptions. Bijan Robinson right here, 13 carries, 72 yards. That's it. 13 for 72. Let me see if I can see something real quick. And just for clarification, let's go back to last year. Last year, 15 carries, 95 yards, 2 tutties. Okay? Last week, 28 carries, 170, 2 touchdowns. As you can see, man, the Panthers defense is legit. And as we wrap this thing up, it's only going to get better. Like I said before, maybe I didn't say it before. The linebacker play is only going to get better. Believe it or not, it's only going to get better. All right, Roseboom, he's new to the system. It's his week 3. Wallace, he's still pretty new to the linebacker position, let alone playing at the NFL speed, playing at the NFL level in general, okay? Once these two learn how to play off of each other, the Panthers defense is going to get scary. It's going to get scary. And they're like, okay, if the left guard's going to pull, you're going to do this. Right guard's going to pull, bang. Center's going to combo block, hit Derrick Brown, hit Bobby Brown, work second level. This is what we're going to do. The Panthers defense has a big chance to do something special. And let's touch on offense real quick. The defense, I mean, they dominated this game, right? They dominated this game. Let's touch on the offense real quick before we call it a wrap. So as we talk about the offense, all right, Chuba slowly got back into his groove. Chuba Hubbard, 17 carries, 73 yards, 0 touchdowns. But Rico, man, now it shows 10 carries, 30 yards. The amount of tackles Rico was breaking, the amount of tackles this man was breaking left and right, just to get you 2-3 yards on one play was absolutely insane. Rico, that dude is a dog. Chuba can break tackles too, but Rico, Rico's different, bruh. Rico's going to bring on those 2 or 3 guys and still get you 2 or 3 yards, which is huge. You don't want Chuba taking all those hits. Leave Chuba in for the run game. Rico Daddle on what, the $3 million contract that the Panthers got him on. Absolute still. Let's keep it going. Look at receivers right here. Tetaroa, 3 catches on 8 targets. Again, Panthers had a 30-0 lead, so 8 targets, I get that right there. Hunter Renfrow, 4 targets, 2 catches. Him and Bryce aren't on the same page right now. Bryce is missing him short, or it's going too long. Hopefully those two can kind of figure out the timing. I think when Coker gets back, this offense is going to get scary, if I'm being honest. Once Coker gets back, this offense, we're going to see its potential. We're going to see the potential of the future. With Jalen Coker and Tedderell McMillan, we're going to see the offense. Once again, no Jimmy Horn. Let me know in the comments, is he hurt? All right. I didn't see, pregame the injury report. So let me know if he's hurt. All right. I did see Patrick Jones didn't play for the defense. Hold up. As a reminder, Patrick Jones wasn't playing, right? Nick Scorton started, and look what the defense did. Look what the defense did. And Patrick Jones was a dog against the Cardinals last week. So I'm not taking a shot. Don't be wrong. I'm not taking a shot at Patrick Jones. But I'm saying you had a rookie in there starting week 3. And look what the Panthers did against the run. Patrick Jones, he lit up James Conner last week. If you haven't already, go check out that video. Panthers' run defense is going to be a nightmare for offenses. That came out last week, and look what they did this week. All right. As for the offense, it's going to take some time to figure everything out. You get a 30-0 lead. You're not going to force the pass. You want to run down the clock, get week 1, get the win in the bag. And that's what the Panthers did. So with that being said, Panthers advice is out. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Take it easy. Peace.